Which way? Like that? Mm-hmm. Well, pull up a chair, episode 54. We are live. A little bit of jingle going on there with that. Yeah, I got some new drip out today. In fact, let me put this on before I give the intro. It's Pull Up a Chair, episode 54. I did nothing yesterday except have a great time, which is very unusual for Saturdays. I always have a great time. I just had got to enjoy it with my beautiful wife sitting next to me, which, by the way, cheers, good brother Doom. Everybody being tuned in now or afterwards, do appreciate it. Pull up a chair, episode 54. To my right, as you can see, I got my beautiful wife pulling up a chair in her Browns gear today. And then you got your host, El Tucker Tente, the ultimate motherfucking sensei, the one who, of course, taught Bruce everything he motherfucking knows, a.k.a. Stony Montana, a.k.a. Bed Burgundy, a.k.a. Young Dumbledore, the lyrical wizard, a.k.a. Edward Swisherhands, a.k.a. call me what you will, just don't call me broke or sad, a.k.a. Pale Cassidy, a.k.a. Dive at Steve-O. It's Mr. Keep the Love High and the motherfucking hate low, baby. You know what we doing. Coming in on a big energy note, feeling it tonight. I'm like the kid in Daddy Daycare. I get to hide behind the flash suit, except this is my flash suit. But this is the one episode where I get to wear these for a little bit until I get sick of them. But Pull Up a Chair, episode 54. Happy to be coming at you. Then we got the celebration of Mac tonight, so there is no Sleepless Radio. It'll just be a nice celebration. Second time doing it. Looking forward to doing it. However, let's kick this thing off with talking about our AEW collision trip that we made to the Rocket last night, which is where I got these, by the way. I'm not just wearing shades inside to be a complete fucking jackass. I'm just trying to be a jackass.
Our impromptu AEW show.
Yes, very impromptu. Tickets bought day of impromptu. I'll let you lead. What did you think?
It was awesome. I mean, you know, it was at our Rocket Mortgage in Cleveland.
Yep.
And, excuse me.
Seats were great.
Seats were great, cheap, you know, day of cheap, which is great.
Let me take these off.
Definitely going to maybe do that more. I mean, I don't know. It was great. It was just like on a whim and had like date day. So it was. Yeah,
because I remember last week I mentioned I was going to Pittsburgh. And then we changed the plans over the week, which is we tend to do that, which I like it when we do that because it always works out for the best. It tends to be our thing. But yeah, no, you know, I don't want to hear any more from you guys on Reddit about me and you now, because you got roped into it too, being AEW haters. So I never want to hear that again. I had a great time last night. Thought the Ring of Honor pre-show and the Ring of Honor after show was great. I actually thought the Collision card was phenomenal. Thought that was great. The matches were great. Loved seeing Samoa Joe. I never got to see him before. When he was in the WWE, he was hurt at the time when I did get to go see him. Daniel Bryan, first time seeing him because, again, the other two times I saw him when he was active, he was hurt. Yes, Bryan Danielson. Did I say Daniel Bryan? Mm-hmm. Ah, shit. I thought I had that enough far away from me, but I didn't. But no, thought that was awesome. He called out Zack Sabre. Had a great time. I got those OC shades. I think you got a Collision shirt. Which my only negative critique was they only had one merch stand.
Yeah.
That was the only negative critique. But
at our venue, there was only one merch stand, and the line was so long. It was just crazy. I mean, we probably stood in line for 25 minutes waiting.
Yeah.
The show, I think, like, just start. No. Just start? No.
Ring of Honor started.
Oh, yeah.
The pre-show started, but Collision didn't start yet. It was just the pre-show. Yeah, no, I thought it was great. Tony came out. Cool Cleveland-themed entrance. Yeah, she asked me when we walked in, she goes, do you think Tony's here? I was like, I know Tony's here because the Jaguars are pissed that he's not there. So
Tony came out coked out of his mind. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if he was, but he's just.
I think we can put Coke on Tony's jacket. That man runs a fucking Fulham football club in London, or in England, I believe. Then he runs helps run the Jaguars, or does something with the Jaguars. Because I know his dad is the actual official owner of that. But then he's got obviously AEW, and then he bought Ring of Honor, so he runs Ring of Honor. So
that man needs to go to bed.
That's why he had to fire CM Punk. CM Punk meant he got zero sleep.
Yeah.
Like, he would just put his head on the pillow and he'd see Kenny Omega, 3 missed calls. God damn! How the fuck did that happen? But no, I thought it was overall great. Did you have a favorite match of the night?
That, oh god.
I liked the Darby match.
Yeah.
That Darby match,
Yep.
and then the match that kicked it off with Moxley and Andretti.
Oh yeah.
That was really
That
cool.
was
Mox
cool.
came right through the crowd, kind of like right in front of us.
That was pretty cool.
That was awesome. He came out to Wild Thing, which is awesome. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be keeping a closer eye than even before, though, on just the product of AEW in general, and trying to maybe make sure that my mind's a little bit more open than when I go into it, because I thought of this too. AEW is not the movie that I've seen before, if that makes sense. It's a saying that I've said on here, I think, enough to where some people pick up on it. What I mean by that is, I thought when AEW first started off, I go, oh, brother, how many times is this going to happen? Where somebody's going to rise up, try to take on WWE and actually become real competition. Oh, brother, here we go again. And then I realized something last night. That shit ain't no rinky-dink operation.
No.
That shit's not. Impact, I'm sorry, but even at its best, look at who you had in charge. Fucking Jeff Jarrett and I think her name was Dixie Carter. Come on now. And the guy that you look to for business opinions, I'm sorry, he's great, but Kurt Angle at the time was Perk Angle for a reason. I don't think we should be letting this guy just kind of run the fucking show. But then I thought about ECW, where ECW couldn't even have sold out the floor. Sorry. Hammerstein Ballroom's great. They had a big cult following, but even thinking they could sell out the Rock, it would have been laughed out of the building. WCW could have done it for about 2 years. I'm not going to throw slight on the part that they blocked off. But besides that, it was packed. The crowd was into it, which is big. Because that was the thing with WCW. It seemed like no matter really what you did with the crowd, they didn't give a fuck until the NWO and Goldberg came out. And that was just the fact of the matter. Everybody else was... Oh, and Sting. Sorry, and Sting. But everybody else just seemed like filler. Where AEW, it was like... I heard somebody to the left of me go, come on, Penta! And I'm like, whoa! I'm like, damn, I guess everybody's over here. But no, that was great. And looking forward to definitely going back when I come around here again. I think you'd be down as well. Next time, though, I would like to catch a Dynamite. I think that's fair to say. Okay. Dynamite instead of the Collision. Get a different mix of the roster. Yeah. Because, like, then I'd be able to say, like, oh, shit, I've seen Kenny Omega. Mm-hmm. Oh, I know another high moment for you last night is when you looked up at the Titantron and you're like, who's that? And I'm like, that's Lana. Because you were like, oh, that's CJ. I'm like, yeah, she's
like, wait,
back.
Is that CJ? Lana is best. Lana number one.
Yeah. that was when Rusev was red hot. That's what got you into WWE. That was a good
Total
one.
Divas, yeah, it did. I love that juicy reality. Oof. Eat it up.
Yeah, I know there was talks of them possibly bringing it back. But I guess
that is the case, sign me up.
See how the new group hangs out?
I wouldn't. Let's go.
I feel like the new group doesn't party like that.
You don't know.
Bianca doesn't look like she's had a carb since 2008.
But also, a lot of that stuff is like, guys, you're gonna go do this today.
Oh, the classic, yeah.
So,
like they didn't pick to go to Cabo. They were like, hey, you guys need to go somewhere. You're going to Cabo. Fuck, okay.
I need a bunch of you guys in bikinis now. So.
And drinking a lot of martinis or whatever they fucking were drinking. Margaritas.
I think margaritas.
Yeah. But so that was a great time. Now on to WWE. Not too much happened in the world of WWE. They're still red hot. LA Knights selling merch left and right. But I haven't got my shirt yet. That I ordered last week. I keep waiting for that.
Yeah, that's true.
But looking forward to that arriving. However, though, there was something that did happen this week that I did want to make sure to mention. Gable Stevenson from NXT, who, do you remember when they first signed Gable Stevenson? I'll provide context as well, but do you remember the Olympic?
Yeah.
So a couple of years ago, for those that don't know, Gable Stevenson was the Olympic world champion for USA, and they WWE kind of wanted to fill the Kurt Angle void. Kurt Angle just freshly retired around that time as well after his match with Corbin. So they were kind of looking for somebody to fill that slot. They didn't have Chad Gable yet, who picked it up instantly, which now I just realized how ironic that is. That Chad Gable picked it up and got on the main roster, but Gable Stevenson, the Olympic gold medal winner, well, they drafted him to the when they signed him, WWE, big old contract, big deal. Then they immediately drafted him to Raw. Well, months went by, weeks went by, months went by. No Gable Stevenson on Raw. You don't see the fucker. They don't mention him. They don't talk about him. Nothing. Well, then you get word that Gable Stevenson is now in NXT. But here's the catch with that. You don't see him. They don't mention him. So what is he doing? Then the report came out months ago, which we talked about on here, that he was in developmental and things were looking up. They were about ready to actually debut him on the NXT roster. So they build him in a feud with Baron Corbin. Look at that. I see how WWE thinks on that. So they pair him with Baron Corbin, and they have a match at that last NXT pay-per-view. That went over horribly. About everything that Gable did in the ring was a botch. And it was all, he tried to suplex, he lost his hand placement. So Baron just had to kind of flip over Gable. Then he went for it again, fucked that up. He went for the angle slam, he couldn't hold him up, he dropped him. So Baron had to try to do some makeshift shift with that. Gable goes to throw Baron outside the ropes, doesn't realize how close they are, completely just yeets him over the top rope. One thing leads to another. It's a botch. Dave Meltzer makes fun of it and says, if you didn't know any better, Gable never even did a thing in developmental. That'd be like me going in there and trying to execute this shit all over the place. And then now after that, it was okay, he cuts one promo on TV. Promo goes south. He forgets the whole thing. Just tries to do some makeshift shit. Doesn't work. Week goes by. They have now officially released and let go of Gable Stevenson. As far as I know, let me provide this. That as far as I know, he's not on the NXT roster. He's not in developmental. He's not on SmackDown or Raw. But as far as what I did see, the contract has not been terminated. So I really just think that they don't know what to do with him. My guess would probably be this. If it's a situation where you really put too much money on that contract, because I don't know the details, I think what you do is you try to make him somebody's manager. Okay. And just let him ride it out like that. Hey, dude, you fucking suck. But we got to do something with you because we paid you too much. Yeah. It's kind of like the sports route. We're oh, shit, the guy sucks. Yeah, but we kind of paid him $40 million, so I'd rather that $40 million suck than to watch it just sit and turn into dust on the bench. So, But so that was kind of sad to see that Gable Stevenson just didn't pan out and essentially just got fucking canceled because he did so bad. But at least his cancellation is one that he can bounce back from. This other cancellation got a man 25 years. I want to say, how many years ago did this story even come out with Danny Masterson? By the way, we're pivoted into TV and movies.
Definitely multiple years. Definitely during COVID, or maybe before, because
maybe right when COVID started. Does that sound maybe more right?
Because I had just finished watching the Ranch show on Netflix when that all came out, because I was really bummed out, because I was damn, I said, why did he?
Well, yeah, because at first I'm always
because they had to take him off the show.
Yeah,
they had to kill him off.
Yeah, he said it's been at least a couple years. Yeah, so you watched the Ranch. And they killed him off, which, by the way, what was his last moment that he'll ever have had on screen?
Is it the Ranch? I don't know.
Oh, no. Did they show him die?
Oh.
No, that's the thing. They don't even show it, right?
They don't show him. Did they literally, it was the episode that,
By the way, we are talking about Danny Masterson, the pervert from That 70s Show, played Hyde.
And he played,
Who in the Ranch? I didn't watch the show.
Oh, God. Is it Rooster in the Ranch? I think his name is Rooster in the Ranch. I could be wrong. But,
which, oddly enough, another show where he's
I think his real name is Jameson. Jameson in the show, too. But I think they call him Rooster. Anyway, there was like the episode, and then like literally the next episode, it was like, oh my god, he was in an accident, he's killed off, like goodbye.
Just forget,
like nothing. Like he was not.
So it was one of those things too, right when it first came out. If I remember correctly, Danny was like trying to fight it, and like originally was like trying to fight it.
Yeah, I do remember that.
So for those that don't know, Danny Masterson, as we said from That 70s Show, is also in The Ranch. Very big character. He did star in some movies. I know he was an extra in Yes Man as well. He was also in Killers with Katherine Heigl and Kutcher as well. Kutcher is his best friend. And with that being said, somebody else caught a secondhand cancellation this weekend. In fact, there was a couple people that caught the secondhand cancellation. So, 4 people from the That 70s Show cast, 2 in specific because of the details of their letter that came out. But Ashton Kutcher, his wife Mila Kunis, Deborah Jo Rupp, the mother of Eric Foreman, and the father of Eric Foreman, which I forget his name, but they all sent letters to the judge in support to try to either reduce the sentence or try to paint Danny Masterson in the light of, he didn't do this, no way, he's our guy, he's too nice, he'd never have. Kutcher proceeds to go really in on his letter, which I think is why his name kind of stood out more than the rest. And it was, pretty much saying he's his ride or die. He's going to bat for him the whole time on it, just trying to dress up and dance around and beat around the bush for him the whole time. And essentially says in about 10 different sentences, in just the nicest way, smoothest way possible, that there's no way he did that shit. But, which is wild because, as a lot of people know, Ashton Kutcher has his own program, or I believe it's a program, right? That's like anti-rape, very pro-women. Yeah, it's like totally against sex trafficking. Yeah, as well. And, people leaked, the letters got leaked and didn't look too good for Ashton. And then he put out a Notes app apology. That got taken down because that sucked. And then earlier today, or I believe it was maybe late last night or this morning, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis did about a 45 second,
maybe
about a 45 second, minute at most apology to try to clear the air on it. But if we're just going to call the spade a spade, and I don't mean to put this on his jacket because I love Ashton, Mila looked sincere. Ashton looked like, I can't fucking wait for this to be done.
Yeah, Ashton was like, I can't believe it. Well, not like, but he definitely had the demeanor of, he was basically like, had to be there.
Yeah.
Or
I'm liking how you put that. It was kind of like because he even specifies it in his thing where he goes right back to that. He goes, I mean, when you know a man like that and you're that close for 25 years, it's like, okay, Kutcher, we get it.
Yeah.
Like, that's your guy. That's your boy. Unfortunately, though, that's one of those charges. And he did that shit.
Yeah.
Found guilty, all the evidence that pieced it together. Dude was a dirtbag. Your boy or not.
Yeah.
That dude's a piece of shit. So I think that's where Kutcher's at right now, is he's like, damn, I'm going to miss my friend. But I think Kutcher's also pissed because he's like, that motherfucker knows all this shit that I do. And then now he goes and does it. So it's like, almost, I feel like probably makes him question, like, damn, is the shit I'm preaching even going anywhere? My best friend couldn't pick up on it. Like, damn. But I don't know if Mila was good enough to pull it off. With Masters and Resurface, where Conan basically predicted this whole thing. No, I haven't seen that, actually. I haven't seen that interview with Conan where I guess like Conan saw this whole thing coming. Which, also, another thing I wanted to say on Kutch, that clip that we saw earlier from an old punk where he was talking about Lizzie McGuire, Hillary Duff, that didn't look good either. I gotta say, that didn't look good. I know we can do the different era, different time. That joke doesn't really apply in any era.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unless you're Elvis going after Lisa Marie. But that's different. But
that's different. Okay.
But that was way different. Damn it. But no. What was I mentioning right there? I lost it for a second.
About Ashton's punked.
Yeah, so on this episode of Punked, he's talking about Hillary Duff. And he goes, yeah, she's 15 now, but she's one of the ones that we just are all waiting for to turn 18.
Yeah, all waiting for
and it's like...
he said, like, somebody else, too. He mentioned somebody else's name, and I can't remember who, but it's like, yeah, and her, too.
Yeah, the Olsen twins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And what concerns me about that is how old were they at the time? Hillary Duff might have just been scratching the surface on how bad that was about to get. But
oh, God.
You'd think the cameraman halfway through would be like, hey, cut. Let me just say
we're not
your
gonna
ass.
air that.
Yeah, edit that out.
Yeah, like, why would you
watch
air
that
it?
back and be like, ooh, that sounded bad.
It's so many, like, camera people could be, or whoever edits the footage could be, saving so many careers right now. Like, just edit it out.
Now, here's my question. Do you think Chris D'Elia is the guy running the burner accounts right now in defense of Danny?
Oh, my God, probably.
He saw that clip. He goes, hell yeah, brother. I would have done 14. He's like, hell yeah. That's funny as shit. Oh, God, yeah. Those are a couple of guys you'd never have chaperone a field day.
No, probably not.
Chris D'Elia would pull the MJF, start spreading the news. I'm coming to town. Oh, God. But, yeah, Danny Masterson, fuck you, you piece of shit. But, Ashton, take some time off. Let the smoke clear on you. Let an alien get interviewed. Let Biden fall a couple more times. Then maybe show your face again. Then maybe you'll be good. Let Mitch McConnell freeze up like a deer in goddamn headlights. That's what I'm going to do the next time somebody starts talking to me and, like, I just don't know what to say or I just want them to stop talking. I'm just going to do the Mitch.
Nope. You went blank.
And then if they say anything, I'll be like, you can't fire me. I'll be like, Mitch McConnell helps run the country. He's on TV every day. This guy can't stand up right without taking 5 steps. Come on now, you can't fire me. But the other thing I wanted to mention about in the TV movie world going on, as we're talking about the toxicity of the entertainment industry at the moment, Jimmy Fallon accused of having a toxic workplace again. So Jimmy Fallon years ago was under wraps, and when I looked it up in the mid 2000s, of kind of having some reports come out at times that his show wasn't really all that fluently ran. He wasn't easy to get along with as far as the writers go. Supposedly that's when he had his drinking problem and his coke problem. So he had problems, which now I still think it looks like he's on coke sometimes. But I think that just might be natural Jimmer energy, because if you go back and watch the old Jimmy episodes, that dude couldn't sit still and would never let a guest host talk. Never. Just never let him talk. They'd start to talk and he'd say 6 points over it with 3 questions inside of those points. But Jimmy Fallon got accused once again. I believe you actually read up on this earlier as well.
I did. I found an article from People who addressed what Rolling Stone had put out on this matter of, and basically it was a bunch of quotes they interviewed about, like, 80,
old employees,
about 80 of employees, some being old, some being new, and what they've found is, and again, who knows, this is all hearsay through, current employees and past, that the current employees are, like, dumbfounded how they could be
or shocked at, like, the negativity coming out towards them.
Yeah, and the accusations that they have against the Fallon show, but saying that, he's a changed person, he's so supportive and positive now and a really good energy to be around. But past employees were saying how like hostile and how he would degrade you and belittle you and all of these things.
The male version of Ellen. What is it with these fucking talk show hosts?
I don't know. But said that he's changed now, and it has been changed for about a year now. So that's
Good.
the gist of the article.
Which it seems like it's been a rocky ship for him overall. Like this time it sounded like maybe this shit started with COVID would be my guess. Because I know that he was one of the ones that was fighting with it. And then now I do know that he also, I think I mentioned this about a month ago, that he actually provided out of his own pocket money to all the staff during that strike. And like made sure that they're all paid. Like, you guys are all good. All right, back on TV. Like, you know, like just to make sure everybody's good. Mm-hmm. And he did that out of his own pocket. I think I'm going with the reports. If I were to take a crack at this thing and try to find out what the actual truth is, which again, we're just shooting for podcast sports, so to speak. But I'm thinking it. I'm really thinking that he's a changed man on it. I really think it's good now, and it's mostly just the old employees like, oh shit, you know, it was hectic. And I know people already have it out for Jimmy Fallon because a lot of people say that he's not really organic on the show. Mm-hmm. Like his fucking laugh, for example. Oh my God. I know I saw a clip when I looked it up. I think Dakota Johnson, she was another one where she actually said it one time in the middle of an interview. She was like, aren't you supposed to let me talk? Because, like, Jimmy's just getting his own jokes off. Because, like, a lot of people forget this. He's actually, like, a comedian. Like, he could do stand-up. Like, he was in Taxi. He was in movies. So sometimes I think, especially early on when he first got the late night show, and people are like, yo, this guy's a dick. Was because, like, he was, like, too confused and mixing them up. Like, yeah, I'm supposed to be interviewing you, but wait a minute, I got to get my jokes off. And, yes, he was also on SNL. So, like, and there you got to compete basically for screen time and compete over bits. Yeah. So, like, when he probably first went to the late night show, he's like, oh, I got to go out there and, you know, cut jokes the whole time. When it's like, no, now you're supposed to interject them throughout the thing. Yeah. And he got lost somewhere in that. And I'm sure the alcohol and his substance that he chose probably played a nice role in that as well. Yeah, nice role in that as well. And, yeah, his time on SNL was really good, too. I've actually always liked Fallon. Always thought he was pretty fun. Thought he had more of the fun bits, I feel like, that would go on the show. Because isn't he the dude that does the sing-along? The karaoke thing? Is it? I think he's karaoke. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's, like, the one that, like, does the karaoke offs with different songs. He seems like he'd be the one to do that. I don't remember. Like, that doesn't seem like I know that's not a Kimmel thing. No, The Tonight Show? Yeah, that's him. Okay. I don't know. How about Jimmy Fallon's ice cream? Do you think they canceled that? The Tonight Dough? I don't know. That's really good, though. Nobody's canceling that. Only way that shit's off the shelves is because it got it all bought out. Oh, yeah, no, that's the carpool karaoke. Yeah, I know that Corden does that. I'm talking about where, like, The Rock sang that Taylor Swift song. Oh, like the lip sync. Lip sync. Not karaoke. Yeah, it's the lip sync. Thank you for that. Yeah, because then he also does the other thing where, like, with Jamie Foxx, it would be like an impression wheel. And you got to spin the wheel. And I remember Jamie... Oh, yeah, Ariana Grande did that, too. Yeah, well, she did it vocally. Oh. Where Jamie Foxx did, like, a mixture of voices, like, actors' voices, and he did the singing. Gotcha. And, like, Jimmy Fallon put together, like, this whole big wheel for him. And Jamie was like, you know, I haven't got to see it yet, but can I see it before you get to spin it? And he goes, oh, okay. He goes, what do you think? He goes, I'm going to smoke that shit. And they're like, oh, shit, spin the wheel. And sure as shit, it landed on Denzel. He'd kill it. Next one would be like Jay-Z. Kill it. And then, like, he could even rap like Jay-Z. And then the next one would be like Ray Charles. And he could sing like Ray Charles. I'm like, this dude's nuts. Like, and he even explained it. He explained it once how he does it. But just because he explains it, I could listen to him explain it 1,000 times. I really don't. Like, I get what he's saying. It's all in, like, a certain influx of the voice. Mm-hmm. But, like, that's how I'm able to do certain ones. But they just kind of have to naturally click with you. You can't just really, like, oh, I'm going to do his voice real quick. Like, it has to literally come to you naturally. Mm-hmm. But that was just all I wanted to mention on TV movies. Looks like we'll have to kind of see what facts come out of this Jimmy Fallon situation. But as of right now, I'm thinking not much. I'm thinking he's going to remain on TV. I don't really think this report's going to stick. As long as the staff that he has now is happy, I don't think it matters, really.
Yeah, it's really
if the
not
old
that
staff wants to
much.
still be bitter and not forgive him for it, then fuck it.
I mean, all this is really doing is just a reputation thing, which he could.
And I bet Jimmy even feels that way too. If you could ask him, like, if you asked him, how do you feel on this?
I mean,
he's
I guess
probably
I'd
like,
much rather a toxic work environment than a sexual.
Yeah.
A sexual assault.
Yeah, Danny Masterson was over here pulling fast ones.
Yeah, I don't. So I'll take what you can get. So
he was just over here slamming shots and fucking ripping lines. Yeah, and the strike's still going on as well. So I feel like that's a good point, especially with all the toxic shit coming out of that. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, the worst thing you got to worry about is some old employees bagging on me. Excuse me while I just move this fan so I don't have cig smoke blowing right in my wife's face. Very uncomfortable thing to have. However, though, I did smoke my last Newport. For those that might be SIG watching, if there's any SIG police out there, I'm on the Top Guns now. Went from the ports to the Top Guns. We smoked them Tom Cruise ciggies now. Come on. And I even had the Aviators. Didn't even realize that until Tom pointed it out earlier. But so now I'm going with the real Top Gun look. Big old Maverick look. Smoking on that Dallas pack. Smoking on that Mark Cubans, baby. Let's go.
Working our way down to quitting.
Yes, that is true. Slowly but surely, one prong on the ladder at a time. But speaking of, mentioned that I saw my buddy earlier and watched some football. Let's pivot into sports. The NFL is back. And good God almighty, it feels amazing. Love having the NFL season back. I know it kicked off on Thursday. But even though the season kicked off on Thursday, it doesn't feel like it really kicks off until you get that NFL Sunday experience. The scores are going. You're getting score alerts. You're checking your phone every 5 minutes, sweating. Sweat's getting in your eyes. You're trying to keep up. My Niners massacred the Steelers today. Yes, we did. Fucking boom, right down to the bone, baby. Right down to the bone. Come on, we smoked them like I smoked these intros. Let's go. We beat them 30-7, which, funny enough, my buddy's a big Steelers fan. I'm obviously a big Niners fan. Couldn't tell if you're the faithful. And we were over there watching the game, and it was very hard for me to control all my excitement, so sometimes I didn't. And he was sharing his disappointment the whole time. Because like you said, we ripped him limb from limb. That second pick when Fred Warner caught the bobble, oh my God, I'm not going to do it, but my buddy reacted in the complete opposite way that I did. And two people were screaming in two very opposite manners with opposite energies. And it was just absolutely hilarious. But NFL's back to recap some of the games today. Niners beat the Steelers 30-7. Saw Cleveland Browns, the hometown team, baby, which still repping them as well. Beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, I believe it was beat the Cincinnati Bengals. I believe it was 24-3, I think is what I saw. I think that was it. Either 24-3 or 24-6. So great win for Cleveland because Jamar Chase, which I wanted to mention, turned me into a big Browns fan for the weekend. I'm always rooting for the dog pound. But Jamar Chase was asked in an interview a couple days ago what he thinks about playing Cleveland. This motherfucker had the audacity to say, "Oh, I'm not worried. Cleveland is Cleveland," with a shit-ass grin on his face. And they asked what Myles Garrett had to say about that going in. Like, once Jamar Chase already said that, he goes, "Oh, I know what he said." He goes, "And I talked to my defense. He goes, we're ready for that shit." 24-3. That's beautiful. Jamar Chase, I think, got a couple catches. It looked like we shut up Joe Burrow all game. He took it like a champ, but I saw at the end of the game that Jamar Chase didn't look like he was wanting to shake those hands. He wasn't looking anybody in the eye. He had to shake, like when he came up to shake any Browns player, it was like,
look nobody in the eye.
Yeah, because it was like, you dumbass. And then I saw Garrett when he went to go shake Garrett's hand, just looked at him and went, "Yeah, you're going to look at me, motherfucker. You can shun off everybody else, but if I grip your hand, you ain't going nowhere." So I thought that was cool. But so yeah, Browns took it to him. Niners took it to him. My fantasy team so far, I'll provide you guys with a quick little update. To talk about the season opener, though, that Chiefs performance was abysmal. If I didn't know any better, the receivers came out of halftime and somebody hosed them down with butter on the fucking sideline. Good God almighty. Sky Moore, Rashee Rice. I felt the worst somehow for Travis Kelce because when it was those 3 drop balls in a row and it literally went boom, 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 Travis Kelce's face when it cut to him on the sideline was like, he's looking at Patty Mahomes like, dude, if I could put somebody else's shoulder in my body, I'd do it. Or put somebody else's knee on my body, I'd do it because, man, I would have caught every single one of those. But hey, Doom, the way you complimented my Niners, got to compliment you too, good brother KRS3, because your Lions took it to the Chiefs in the fucking season opener. That was amazing. So it looks like I got a 60% win advantage with who I got left to play in this league. So that's looking good. Going to check out this league. Got a couple different leagues going on here. I'm up 103-71 in this league, so that's a good sign. And then I know the last time I checked, check this one. This team, I'm up 93-69, so that's good. Then last one right here, how am I doing? I have a 98% win advantage. There's no way I'm going to lose. I had everybody play. He's only got his Buffalo defense, and I'm up 110-89. So I actually don't want to say there's no way I won't lose because stranger things have happened, and if the Jets don't come out and the Bills shut them out, then I'm going to look like an idiot for saying that statement. So let me knock on wood real quick. But I'm so happy to have the NFL back. Tonight, actually coming up soon here, we got the Sunday night game, which I believe is a great rivalry, Cowboys versus the Giants. So that'll be interesting to see how it pans out. And I know usually I predict all of the games that come out ahead of time, but we're doing it this time on a Sunday night football night. So I'm going to get to predict this game, and I'm going to predict tomorrow's Monday night game. Let's see how I do, and then let's see how you do, because it'd be actually really funny if you did better than me, but I think it could happen because I overthink the shit out of this. So, Sunday, home opener, comes on in about 20 minutes. Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants. Who do you got? I got the Dallas Cowboys.
I was going to say that before you said that.
I know people always joke about the Cowboys. I know you could make fun of them, and it's hilarious. Like I saw that one meme. It was like the season just started, so I'm going to post this anyways. The Cowboys have statistically been eliminated from the playoffs. That's hilarious. Do I think Dak Prescott is overrated? 100%. However, though, do I think Dak Prescott and that Cowboys defense, with the weapons they have and Tony Pollard stepping up, can go out there and expose a very weak New York Giants defense on a Sunday night game on the first game of the season? Absolutely. I would actually go as far as to say, I like to take a crack at the score. I'm saying Dallas Cowboys defense steals the show. Saquon Barkley can't get anywhere. Daniel Jones has to put the ball in the air, and it goes essentially nowhere. So on that note, I'm going Cowboys beat the Giants 31-10. Now, what do you have the Cowboys winning by? Because you said you have the Cowboys winning. Take a crack. There's no wrong answer.
I don't have a guess for you.
No guess? You're saying Cowboys get the win?
Sure.
Gotcha. No hot takes?
No.
All right. Maybe this one you have a little bit more, maybe some more hot takes about because you got to watch them in Hard Knocks. But now that the Hard Knocks season is over, which was a great season, by the way, painted the Jets in a beautiful light. In fact, if any team watched that going into the season, you'd probably be scared of them. However, tomorrow, Monday Night Football, another division rivalry, first Monday night game of the year. New York Jets versus the Buffalo Bills. Now that, I think, is going to be a great game. But who do you got winning that?
Jets.
You got the Jets
Got
winning.
the Jets.
By a lot or a little? How about I say that?
By like a few.
By a little. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're saying Jets by a couple?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna dive into this. I'm gonna give two answers because I think one of them will be right. So I'm gonna bail myself out and give myself two answers on this one. I'm thinking if the Jets come out and play the way that they looked in the preseason and on Hard Knocks with the defense looking great, Aaron's connecting with Wilson, the rookies are looking good, the run game's looking good. I'm thinking Jets win by 10. And that would make it, I'm going to go with 34-24 Jets win. If they look good coming out the gate like they did in the Hard Knocks show. If the Jets defense completely falls apart, though, and the offense can't get moving, which I think this would then make it go without saying. So let me word it like this. If the Jets ain't what they look like on Hard Knocks, the Bills are going to run all over. I should say this, pass all over. Run game, probably not so much. That Jets D-line's nasty. But if Josh Allen starts cooking, and Aaron Rodgers, because here's honestly what's going to make it or break it for the New York Jets, and I think you saw this on Hard Knocks. The X factor is if that offensive line holds up. Offensive line holds up, Rodgers plays great. Jets win. Offensive line doesn't hold up. Rodgers gets killed. The Bills just keep taking the field, and they're going to wear down that Jets defense to the point where Josh Allen's just going to be able to throw to whoever the fuck he wants out there. And then it's going to get bowling shoot. So that's my take on that. However, I'm just so happy to have football back. It's absolutely amazing. It's awesome. And fantasy teams, if you guys are fantasy owners, just make sure to keep your blood pressure calm. Keep everything in check. I know how it feels when you see a Q, and I really know how it feels when you see an O. So if you're a J.K. Dobbins fantasy owner, because I saw that he just went out for season today, I'm sending my prayers your way. I know I've been there, okay? I've been there. My heart goes out to you all. I've been there. But on that note, let's end with new music. I wanted to make sure that we saved the best for last because I know that there's a very controversial record that came out this weekend. So let's lead with new music reviews, and then we'll lead into the song that's sparked the controversy of the weekend, and I feel like kind of stole the light. Well, half stole the light because there's another female that we'll lead with album-wise that also made her footprint on the fucking weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll start with albums, as we like to do. Olivia Rodrigo dropped Guts. Her follow-up to, I believe the album was what? Sour?
Yeah.
I think that's what they called it, Sour. So, and, you know, we ended up listening to it together for the first time, both on our first listens. I thought it was really good. I don't know who's writing these songs. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. But I really liked it. I think they fit her. Whoever wrote them, it doesn't matter. Absolutely beautiful songwriting, beautiful delivery. Her melodies are incredible. The way she's able to provide that energy with the record is amazing. Like 8 out of 10. Yeah, I would say somewhere around there for me too, probably. I'd say that's pretty fair.
It definitely has replay value for me.
Yes, definite replay value. I saw that she's trying to run off with a little bit of my sauce, which seems to be a reoccurring theme with the vampire, but at least she did it right. Logical's my favorite joint on it, so that's the one I highly recommend. And I also really like Teenage Dream as well. I thought that was a beautiful song, especially for her to do. Thought that fit her really well. I saw Real Boston Richie dropped an album. I got to check out majority of that. You've heard me say this before, and this is always my bailout in a situation like this, but I saw that he was one of the new XXL guys. I wanted to check out his album, and I liked it. Nothing to write home about. I certainly won't go back to it from what I heard. I'm not the demo. I know that he wasn't trying to appeal to me, I don't think, with this album, so I'm sure his fan base is probably rocking with it. It seemed like the beats were nice. The other thing I did want to mention on Olivia, before we completely leave off of her, though, is her similarity with how I loved how Taylor Swift shouted her out as well. I really think that mesh is going to be something that we'll see in the future between Olivia and Taylor. I'd actually like to see that. Like, I'd like to see her under the Taylor wing to kind of see how that would go. Because I feel like a lot of Olivia's fans are Taylor fans, and the way a lot of Taylor fans are Olivia fans.
Yeah. Oh God, for sure. I think that there's a lot of, like Taylor, said that. I think that there is a lot of Olivia and Taylor and Olivia with just like her music at that age, in that age bracket that she's trying to target. I mean, if she is, I like the music, and
He said Olivia's just Taylor, but emo, to be honest.
A little bit more edgy. Yeah, I could see that for sure.
A little bit more edge to her, for sure. A little bit more angst.
Angst.
Taylor doesn't have angst anymore.
Yeah.
She has whatever that knee movement dance is that she does on stage, where she does like a half Elvis. You know what I'm talking about? She does like the crisscross applesauce out of nowhere. It's the go-to Taylor move. That's when you know she's bodying the song. Like, shit, she's doing the crisscross. Fuck. But
it's good. It's good.
I saw Dominic Fike drop the live album. Dooley, when you're watching this, I know he's saying you better mention it. So Dooley dropped a Apple Music live album, which I checked out. Love the fact that he did that. I love live albums in general. Really like the Kiss of Venus live take that he did. Starts that off with saying, I made this song with a Beatle, dude. That I just thought was a great intro for it. Amp Pile was great. I was surprised I didn't see Chicken Tender or Vampires on here. But Mona Lisa was great. Bodies live was amazing. Dooley, I know, has got to see him live now a couple times. Yeah. So I definitely would love to see him in the future. I think that show would be great. I saw Tinashe drop the new album. Now that I didn't get to check out her new EP/album, it looks like. She went the Pusha T album route with having 7 tracks on it. But I heard Needs and I heard Those two so far that I've heard, I liked it. Wasn't too big on it, but from what I heard, I did like it. I actually saw your face on here, Doom, that you checked that one out, so I'm excited to see what you said or what you thought about it. Lauren Daigle dropped a new album. I know you didn't get to hear that yet, but I know you like Lauren Daigle. Now, this is one of the last 2 albums I wanted to mention album-wise, because these 2 are the ones that I really, really highly recommend for the weekend. He said that Tinashe album was okay. Oh, and see, I know you like Tinashe too, so you saying 6 out of 10, that kind of makes me glad that I wasn't going crazy over those 2 singles or not bagging on them too much, because I was wondering, I was like, oh shit, Doom's going to be like, he loved it. But the 2 albums that I really highly recommend, though, for this weekend, the 2 albums that really jumped out to me the most, you guys all know my taste. I know you know it as well. The collab album between 38 Special and Conway the Machine called Special Machinery. That I highly recommend. Conway is on a fucking god-level run right now. He's been killing it. His collab that he did earlier in the year with Jay Skees, his drum work project he helped curate, his album, Won't He Do It? He's on tour right now. I know I'm going to get to see him, so I'm looking really forward to that and getting to hang with him, so that'll be fun. Absolutely love the run that he's on right now. That collab album's great. You got features on there from Black Thought. You got El Camino. You got Benny the Butcher. You got a couple others on there. Lloyd Banks. Then on the other highly recommendation that I have for the weekend is the Tizo Touchdown album. Now that I didn't expect to be saying on Friday when I went to go check it out. That Tizo Touchdown album, this dude's doing something special. He's one of those that he's operating on a different level, different frequency right now. I saw Drake shouted him out on IG, and in traditional Drake fashion, he couldn't just say, yo, check this out. He said, one of the best collections of music I've heard in a long time. One of the best collections of music. Oh, Drake, damn you. But he said out now, and he did it in the, the honestly never mind kind of lettering. So, but that was a big look for Tizo. I really love Tizo's story in general from what I've seen. Because when I first heard Tizo Touchdown, I'm like, he's 17. Then I'm like, oh, no, he's 29. Okay. And then I'm like, oh, shit, all right, he's over 30. Okay, so that's cool. And the music doesn't sound for a debut album like how you would think somebody that age, like, he honestly, I feel like blended so many different things. Like, and some of those beats, the way he was going over the beats too, like I showed you that one where it's like, you're literally rapping over the drums. And then when the drums stop, that's your pause. Like that, like when I heard that, I'm like, that's an interesting pocket. I've never heard that pocket before. So I highly recommend checking out the Tizo Touchdown album. A couple specific joints, which this is another thing I loved about it. When it's an album like that, I just add one by one. I start it from the top, and if I like it, I add it. And most of the time in a situation like that, it's very, very rare that this happens. Added every single one of them. So my favorites on there is first the one with Janelle Monáe, You Thought. Number 2, Impossible. And number 3 would be Familiarity. And I also love Nune as well. And Stranger. Stranger's great too. A lot of great joints on this, though. He has Fouché on Sweet, track number 4. Every track sounds different than the one that came before it. Tizo Touchdown, I think I'm going to probably be talking about you in a couple of these categories by the end of the year for the Sleepless Radio Awards. But really loved that project. Thought it was absolutely phenomenal. I think you guys should all give him a chance and check him out. Like I said, he's operating on a different frequency right now. It just sounds totally unique, totally something different. And I'm putting all my chips in on it, and I think it's a great album. And I think for it being a debut, too, that this really stamps like, oh shit, what's this guy gonna do next? Like, this sounds completely different. What did you think of the couple that I showed you on the way home?
I mean, none of them were bad. I mean, it's not my type of music, but I think it was well put together for sure. I didn't not like it like off rip, so that's always a good sign.
Yeah, that is a good sign. Now, single wise, there was definitely some good singles that came out. Before we get to the one that caused all the commotion, Miranda Lambert, I saw driving back there in my mind. I don't know if you got to check that out yet, but
you don't care about Miranda Lambert.
You don't care about? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Forgot about all that Miranda Lambert business. A Boogie with the Hoodie. A Boogie with the Hoodie. By the way, did drop a 3-track EP, which I checked that out. I actually thought one of them was pretty good.
Down here in Cleveland.
Yep, with Choosy. Oh, I thought that was in Pittsburgh. Or I thought that was in PA.
I thought he was coming here, too, at the Agora.
Oh, okay. Big bet.
Because remember, my stepsister wanted to go.
Yeah, I thought that's what she said, though, is that it was in PA. That's why I just thought
maybe.
That
Maybe not. Maybe it is.
I saw BJ the Chicago Kid drop the new track with Coco Jones. That was really solid. Saw Glorilla was on a new joint. This record I highly recommend. In fact, I think JID may have went for Verse of the Year on it. Maynard Vignette. I thought that was really good. That was Killer Mike, JID, T.I., and let me check actually who else was on that sucker. Yeah, who else was on this guy? Ooh, almost played the audio. That would have been catastrophic. So, yeah, we had Killer Mike, T.I., JID. Oh, yeah, and who did the hook? Jacquees. Yeah, Jacquees did the hook, which I actually thought originally, Good Brother KRS3 mentioned this to me as well. He thought that it would have been cool if Ty Dolla $ign did the hook, but I thought this was that one rare occasion where Jacquees actually fucking killed it, and I thought he did amazing.
Yeah, Holstein Center, actually.
Oh, okay. Cool. But, yeah, so he is coming here. So I made a mistake on that one. But, yeah, so then you got Jacquees on the hook on that, which I think JID's verse, though, he's an alien, and he proves it once again. There's a part, like, halfway through his verse where he does something with his flow where I just want to fucking throw my phone out the window when he does it, because from a competitive angle, being an artist myself, I'm like, this guy's a nightmare to try to deal with. But, no, Maynard Vignette, I highly recommend checking that out. I thought that was awesome. Joyner Lucas dropped a single that was a remix. Well, not a remix, but he heavily sampled Donald Trump by Mac Miller. He sampled that beat and rapped over that as a single for his album. And he even said at the beginning of the track, he said, R.I.P. Mac Miller. And then, like, just completely went in. And this was actually probably one of my favorite Joyner Lucas tracks. So I really like how he did that, and I think his flow matched really well over it. And it was cool to see him obviously sample that and kind of bring it back and give that beat some fresh life too, and make a lot of Joyner fans, if they hadn't, go back and maybe check out the original that he did sample. Mm-hmm. And seeing him ride for Mac like that, I thought was really cool. Yeah, that's cool. So shout out Joyner Lucas for that. I really did appreciate that. And another single that came out for people that are on the Sexy Red and Lotto bandwagons, Peaches and Eggplants with Young Nudie, 21 Savage featuring Lotto and Sexy Red, which I've heard that a couple times, and I do like that beat a lot, and I do think Sexy Red slid on that. I'm on the Ski train, honey. I'm on the train. I'm on the bandwagon. Oh, I had my bag, and I jumped right on. I'm waiting for it. We're riding it out. And Lotto, I think, had another great feature as well on it. Thought she did great. And there was actually 3 that I left out in the album category that I wanted to make sure that we mentioned. There's 3 that I left out. And I think I left them out because one of them was kind of like a unreleased track situation, which was Cameron dropped the Lost File Volume 1, which I saved a couple joins on that. I think Go and Get It and Blow My High and It's Only Money. Those are my 3 favorites on that project. So Kill a Cameron dropped the Lost Files Volume 1. That was dope. For my people that love bars, check that out. Triple X Tentacion had It Wasn't Enough EP come out for him, which had a couple SoundCloud Lucy's, and then it looked like 2 unreleased tracks with Wi-Fi's Funeral come out, which he's one of those that I'm still surprised that they have music from like that. It just makes me wonder how much the kid recorded. But I did save the SoundCloud classic, I Spoke to the Devil in Miami, which loved that track, thought that was dope. So I wanted to make sure I had that in my library. But then another person from the new generation that was gone too soon had a whole documentary come out that I mentioned last week, which I did end up checking out, which was the Diamonds documentary, which was actually made for and produced for the Diamonds album, which Lil Peep and I Love McConan, R.I.P. Lil Peep, R.I.P. X, Lil Peep and I Love McConan finally released the Diamonds album that was rumored literally 6 years ago. Almost 6 years ago, I should say, about 5.5 years ago. That was teased on Peep's Twitter. So it was awesome to see that finally come to life. Checked out that whole project. Really, in fact, no, I take that back. There's a couple more I got to hear on it. In fact, I got to hear 15 down. But from what I've heard, it's always amazing hearing new Peep. I know you like Lil Peep a lot as well. I love McConan. It reminds you how talented McConan is. Reminds you how great those two can work together and what their chemistry really was. Highly recommend checking out the Diamonds documentary, though. It's about 22 minutes long before checking out the album. The only thing with the album, though, that I do have a negative critique about, I hate to say it, but I do have one, is I feel like this could have been, because it's 21 tracks and the album is an hour and 22 minutes, I think it would have been maybe a little bit smarter to either break this up in 3s. Like here, 21 tracks. Okay. What if you did Diamonds 1, Diamonds 2, Diamonds 3? And try to split it up to where like you could get 7 now, have it be maybe easily more able to be consumed, because obviously we know trying to get people for an hour and 22 minutes, even if you're Drake, is a challenge. So, and there's very few artists that I feel like can truthfully get away with that and keep most of their fans the whole time. So, I'm curious to see on how the reception of the album is going to pan out. I just wish that it would have been broken up in 3s for multiple reasons. Not only for that, but for I don't want you to like, what if this is the last of Pete? Because like I saw that there's a rumored report that Smokestack was trying to say, like, you guys got to be careful because we don't got much left here. Like, you know, it's not first come, first serve anymore like it seemed like it was for a minute. It's almost like, yo, we're kind of getting down to nitty gritty. Yeah. Pretty soon we're not going to have anything left. And that's why I feel like McConan maybe could have been the one that was like, oh, I want it all. Where it's like, I don't know, man, if you break it up, it just might be the better call. Yeah. He said, or put out 15 first and then do the deluxe after. Yeah, I mean, 15, yeah, even at the, I would say maybe even 14 at the most. And then you could break it up and then maybe just do like a 7 deluxe later in the year, like you said. Yeah. But I do recommend checking that out, though. Lil Peep's Melody Game, that kid, there isn't enough great things I could say about that kid just because of how talented he was and how incredibly short. And that goes the same for X, too. Said the same thing about Juice. Those kids were all incredibly talented. To see them go the way that they all did before they could even tap into even remotely getting close to their full potential is just absolutely tragic. Absolutely sad. Like Pop Smoke. I know I've said it before on the show, but whenever anybody's like, oh, you know, the new generation doesn't really have superstars, it's just Baby. And it's like, yeah, all of them unfortunately died before it could get to that point, unfortunately, where they could be the big superstar like Drake is. But speaking of big superstars, I think this is the one that everybody was waiting for on a review. This is the one that everybody's got a reaction. Everybody's got a review. Everybody's got a tweet. Everybody's got a Reddit post. And that's for this record that the superstars, the queens known as Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, dropped a video and a record the same day. And it's going crazy, as expected, because we know what these two did before. They dropped a little record called Bongos. Back shot hit like bongo. Would you, let's start with the female on this because I don't think people should take my opinion for this one as strongly as they should take yours. So what did you think of?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I think that the song needs to grow on me a little bit more. It's not my favorite off rip. I definitely feel like it's going to be. I feel like it'll grow on me.
Big time.
Yeah, after I've listened to it a few times, I definitely feel like it's going to.
Like the first time I played it for was the other night. We were doing a little bit of some pre-pod production where I was making sure I get her informed on some things. So we watched the video together for the first time. I thought the video was really well shot, but I noticed about halfway through the video. That you were like what the fuck? Because the beat, I think if I were to take a crack, because he said, not gonna lie, I love that song, but the beat is annoying as fuck.
Well, that's why she named it Bongos.
I think, yeah, because like we watched her Hot 97 interview. We also watched a little bit of her, I think it was her her Breakfast Club interview. But we watched all of the Hot 97 interview, which, by the way, I'm so glad that she could never be media trained because she's so amazing in interviews.
She's so funny.
She's so great to watch talk. But I kind of like the beat. I'm guilty of kind of liking the beat. But I do think that beat can be a little much. There's literally no bongos in the beat. That's the funny part. Yeah, it kind of just is meant to sound like the bump, 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 bump with the sticks on.
That's what she said in her interview. Yeah. That's why she bump like that.
And then, because Ebro asked her, he's like, so what is the bongos? And she said that it didn't even really take on a different form until Meg says that line in the song where she goes, the back shots hit like bongos, and it turned into is that what that is going for? But I'm gonna say I like the record. I like it. And then this is where we're gonna have fun. I think it's better than WAP.
All right, now you're getting crazy.
I think it's better than WAP.
You're getting crazy.
Do I think it will chart better than WAP? No. Do I think it will perform better than WAP? No. Do I think that me personally, if somebody said, again, I love saying it, if I'm going on an island, my phone's going to have either bongos in it or it's going to have WAP in it. I'm going with bongos. I think that it's the better song.
All right. Well, that's why everybody has them.
It won't have the same cultural impact as WAP, but I agree it's a better song than WAP. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I was trying to get at.
I can see, I don't know. I like WAP better right now.
I mean, WAP is a massive hit. That's undeniable. In fact, it's a classic. I think nobody can really argue that. WAP, it's a fucking phrase now. Yeah. So, it's undoubtedly a classic. It's clearly a smash hit for Cardi. Definitely one of her biggest hits. Massive Megan feature. Massive hit. But yeah, I just think the overall record, Bongos, is the better one. However, though, if the internet was here and I said that, I'd have to be King Leonidas in 300 holding the sword out because everybody would be coming for me. I even commented on the Rory and Mal, shout out Rory and Mal, commented on their YouTube post. And there was people dragging me in the comments no, Bongos is trash. The beat sucks. Cardi can't rap. And it's just what the fuck? And then I saw people on Reddit, of course, are taking the approach of oh, of course now Megan waits till now again to pop back out. After all, taking the approach oh, now, she wouldn't drop this a couple months ago. That's why Cardi waited to drop the record. But, of course, I don't put any stock in that bullshit. But I think Cardi and Meg did it again. I think they're, what are they, 2 for 2 now? Yeah, 2 for 2. So I think they got another hit on their hands. However, this one seems to have a little bit more controversy. But then when I thought about it, WAP had controversy when it came out.
Oh, 100%.
People going on the news, oh, you can't be putting this on our children. God forbid they watch this shit. Hell no. And it's
God. It's we've been having songs like this come out for fucking 20 years before that song. Probably longer.
Literally, Led Zeppelin has a 6-minute song called Trampled Underfoot. And if you listen to the words, it's literally about fucking in a car. Whole song, 6 minutes straight, fucking in a car. Which beautifully written, by the way, because you never know it unless you really listen intently. But He's fucking in a car the whole time. But so that shit's been around for years.
Fucking Shaggy wasn't me.
It wasn't me. Yeah. Shaggy's over here on his fucking Offset shit. Nobody questioned him. Right? He's over here pulling a Tristan Thompson before Tristan Thompson was even born. Actually, no, he would have been born, I think, at the time. Right? I don't know. I get my timeline. I get my timelines and the simulation mixed up. Nothing's real anyways.
It's not.
But overall, though, I like Bongos. Thought it was dope. I think it's a good record. I think, once again, I think the video, I think that was well done. I think that was well shot. What did you think of the video?
It was fine. It was good.
Enjoyed it?
Yeah. Went good.
Went well. But now the thing that I wanted to leave off on is, do you think, because Cardi mentioned something in the Hot 97 interview. She said this now, so we can go by it, I believe. She said, if not the end of the year, the top of the year. And then Ebro goes, so late 2023, early 2024. And she goes, 2024 sounds better. And then she kind of at one point was joking, maybe 2025. And he's like, no, I thought I had you at 2024. Yeah. And she's like, okay, 2024. You're right. It's time. My question is for you, does it come out early 2024 or late 2024? And then the second part of that question is she taking too long? Let's see. Let's give the exact date that Invasion of Privacy came out.
Well, I am excited for an album, but I think it's going to come out probably mid 2024.
April 6, 2018.
It's been a while. But I definitely think that, she's a mother and she deserves to, take a few years off to spend with her kids. And now I think
had 2 back-to-back.
And then now, she put out this, single.
I think he nailed it. In fact, I think it might even be right in the middle of what he said. Didn't you?
And so I definitely do think it's time. It's definitely time to drop something.
Yeah. She's been dropping singles. She's obviously been on a feature run, so she's maintaining the relevancy great. Her relevancy hasn't went anywhere. If anything, it's went through the roof. Do you think
that she's nervous?
Yeah.
That it's not
I'm going to take another step forward. I'm going to think the label's nervous too. Doom says either Q1 2024 or summer 2024. I'm thinking somewhere in that April, May range. Because then she can have those songs of the summer. She can be the soundtrack of the summer like she was that year, where it was just single hit, album. Each cut is a hit, like that type of thing. And so if I'm not mistaken, the album went, I want to say it went diamond. If not, it's 8 times platinum or something like that. It's done really, really well. Or maybe I think multiple records on it have went diamond, maybe is the situation. But no, she's been absolutely killing it. To answer your question completely, I think, because you said, is she nervous? I think that not only is she nervous, I think the label's nervous.
Yeah.
Because your last album, your debut album, did so incredibly well.
Yeah.
You've done amazing. And the sophomore album is automatically cursed anyways. Everybody has that. It was like the Madden cover curse. It's just the thing that happens. Sophomore album, for some reason, tends to not go as well as your debut reception-wise.
Yeah.
But I also think that this is what's making them worried. A couple of these singles aren't going over as well as the old ones did. Where before, which this is just America doing what America loves to do, where before people were rooting for Cardi because she was the underdog. She's, coming up. Oh my God, here's this person, great personality.
Yeah.
Let's push her to the moon. But then America, especially with the entertainment industry, they love to watch
people
fail.
Yeah.
So now, when she put out Hot Shit with Lil Durk and Kanye, I thought Cardi had the best verse on the song. I thought it was Kanye and Durk that kind of made that thing dicey. Didn't really go over that well. Didn't perform that well. Then she comes out with, let me see, what was the other one? Yeah, all the singles went double platinum or triple platinum. Okay, hell yeah. Yeah, I knew I thought Invasion would have won platinum by now at least. Good God. Actually, that surprises me. But single-wise, let's see to confirm. Yeah, so there was Hot Shit, which didn't really go over well. Up. So that went over great. WAP and Up back to back. I think that's when they thought they were. Oh, see, hold on. Let me take it from the top. There we go. So there was the Money single that she came out with in 2018. Thought that was solid. Then there was the song with Bruno Mars, Please Me, which that went over really well. This is where I think shit started to get a little dicey. When she dropped Press. Now, from what I remember, I liked the record, but it didn't really stick.
Yeah, I don't really remember much.
And then WAP happened, and that's a smash. Mm-hmm. Then Up came out, and that's a smash. Then Rumors with Lizzo came out, and that song went really well. That song performed well. There was No Love with Summer Walker and SZA. That performed well. Yeah, he said, I hated Press. That hook was too repetitive. That was. Hot Shit came out. That didn't really go anywhere. Then you had the Tomorrow 2 feature came out, which she needed that. That was a big moment for Cardi. That was a big moment for Cardi because that was her back on her rap shit. Then she was on the Point Me 2 with Fendi the Rapper, and she killed that feature too. Then she was on Jealousy, which was Offsetting her, which I think she killed that too. And then now she just hopped back out with her official single Bongos. But now here's the thing. It's not going over that well reception-wise. It's selling, it's moving units, but people are bagging on it, not really digging it. So that's why I'm kind of hoping that it gets a turnaround, because I think the more that this situation happens, the more we have to wait for that album.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to drop while it's, oh shit, what if they just bag on the album?
Yeah.
Because again, she's already going to get that ant on a magnifying glass on a hill treatment. You know, she's already going to get that, make a mistake, bitch, you know, I'll burn it, like that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that Cardi can, you know, get back in everybody's good graces, hopefully. And I think people are just hating on Bongos. Get your hater hat off, damn it. Take that damn thing off. Sometimes the hater hat doesn't look cool on people. I don't like wearing it all the time myself. I don't like wearing it sometimes myself. Sometimes I just have to wear it. But never want to hear you accuse me of having my hater hat on when it comes to AEW, though, ever again. But on that note, I wanted to keep it brief. Pull Up a Chair, episode 54. Thank you for being tuned in, and thank you, wifey, for pulling up a chair. As always, love your input and love your perspective on all the shit that goes on in this tornado of a circus and a simulation. But on that note, thank you for tuning in to Pull Up a Chair, episode 54. I am going to roll up. And Ray Gunn pulled up a chair. Our little Ray Liotta right here. Our little Ray Mysterio. Our little Ray Lewis. But yeah, I could do that all day. But on that note, thank you for tuning in to Pull Up a Chair, episode 54. Keep the love high and the hate low. If you're tuning into this now, if you're tuning into this afterwards, I appreciate you so much. New music on the way when vampires go surfing. We're going to let the trilogy go crazy. We got merch on the way. Can't wait to post those ideas and let you guys and see what you guys got to think about them and see about them. And on that note, going live for a celebration of Mac. I'm just about to twist one up, get myself situated, get myself a drinking glass, and I'm looking really forward to doing my second ever celebration of Mac, where we're going to share some Mac Miller facts, some memories, some moments, our favorite records, and we're going to play some of them and just jam together and have a good time, most dope family style. So on that note, keep the love high and the hate low and wake up with a smile on. And don't forget to look in the mirror and say 3 things you're grateful for. Anything that you would like to say, sweetie, on that note? No? Just stay blessed and less stressed, stealing a page out of Snooker's playbook. And what would you like to say, Reagan?
Yeah.
Hold her up. Let's see what she's going to say.
She wants to get down.
Beautiful outro, Ray. Absolutely smoked it. All right, on that note, I love you guys. Peace and see you shortly. I'll be going live on IG at Tootlenku for the celebration of Mac. Love y'all. Peace. Boom.